Well, hello everybody. I'm in South Carolina, Dorchester County. We are at the Colonial Ashley River. This is Fort Dorchester, the fort, the actual fort on the river. And there's a brick powder magazine inside here with this is the oldest tabby wall, the best conditioned tabby wall there is in the United States. It was built 8 foot high. It was built in 1757 during the Revolution, American Revolution. Dorchester, Fort Dorchester was a strategic point, and in 1775 the magazine was fortified, and the garrison commander was Captain Francis Marion. And the British troops occupied the town in April 1780. They were driven out by the cavalry and infantry under Colonel Wade Hampton and General Nathaniel Greene on December 1, 1781. So we'll go take a look at the fort here. This is one of the front entrances of it from the township. Here's the fort with the magazine. We'll walk around and look at the structure on the inside of the walls here. It's pretty cool. I've actually never seen one in this good a shape myself, so I can believe it's the best preserved tabby wall ruins in the U.S. This thing's awesome. I can imagine how hard the conditions were here in South Carolina during that time. The first settlers came here in 1670 at Charlestown Landing. And it was not on the Charleston Peninsula, that was later. This is where one of the gun emplacements was here, overlooking the river. You'll see that in a minute. Second here. There you go. This is the upper Ashley River, and they called this region at that time on the survey maps the Westo Savannah area. Used to bring my dog down here, and he'd jump in the water, and across the way here comes the alligator. So they're pretty predominant here too. A lot of wildlife here, a lot of creatures. Here's the powder magazine. I'll get up close to it. They excavated this thing, probably about, I don't know, about 1971 or 70. Seems like I remember when they first excavated this place. But anyway, that was where the powder magazine was. This is a beautiful park. Here's one of the back entrances into the fort. Here, we'll walk down to the river here. It's pretty cool. This is probably one of my favorite places of all time. I used to come here when I was a boy, and I can remember before it was even a park. Preserved, it was owned by an outfit called West Vaco Corporation. Now they've changed and I don't know what they call it now, but anyway, this is a good view of the upper Ashley River. This was a main highway. This was like their interstate back then, coming up the river to bring their supplies. Here's a view of the fort from down where I'm at the river now. Ah, here's a sign that's warning people about the alligators. There you go. Oh yeah. Yep. Very peaceful place. Amongst the hustle and bustle of the population of Tri-County area now. Still really wet from the rains the other day. Had 2 inches of rain yesterday, or day before yesterday. Yeah, this is coming on the spring here in the low country, South Carolina. Pretty soon all the flowers will be out in full force. Yeah, this is a pretty cool road here. This is one of the areas where the ships, let's see, what was it? This is a road that's one of the main networks of trade. The Ashley River served as one of the early highways between Dorchester and Charlestown. It provided the planters easy access to the largest market in Carolina for their crops, but as the colony expanded, it became an obstacle to overland travel and trade. Right at the end of this was a bridge that finally crossed the river right here in the 1720s. It connected Dorchester to a growing network of the inland roads and the communities that funneled goods and people through the heart of the village. Like other bridges in the colony, the 150-foot long bridge is no longer there. Dorchester Bridge provided a real convenience for the travelers from North Carolina to Georgia, and also from Charlestown Landing to the interior settlements of the low country. And let's see, I'll show you a picture here of the colonial roads here in a sec. There you go, that's a picture of the colonial roads that were here at that time between 1770 and 1780. Okay, we'll walk down toward the river where the bridge used to be. River here is a pretty large wilderness area in the West O Savannah area. It's across here a little ways is the Highway 61, and that goes all the way from the Summerville, Dorchester County, all the way down to Charleston, South Carolina, and along the it's kind of a plantation row. Some pretty famous plantations along this stretch here on the other side. Middleton Plantation, Magnolia Gardens, or Magnolia Plantation, Drayton Hall is another one. A friend of mine that I grew up with used to manage a plantation called the Laurels. It was on 300 acres. It was really cool. 300 acres of wilderness and developed during the colonial period. And the thing just full of wildlife. And it really looks wild too to boot, so pretty cool. We'll walk along the edge of the river here. Here's a shot from the river as the settlers would have seen coming in off the on their wagons or horses up to this road. Yep. There we go. Still pretty soggy here from the rain. Let's see, take a little trail, see where this goes. It's a little too cool for a lot of the critters. A lot of times you'll see water snakes, or moccasins, and green anole, lizards, tree frog, gray tree frogs, green tree frogs. Armadillos made their way up here now. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, still pretty muddy here. That's all right. This is where an old dock used to be. The boats would pull up here. Yeah, a lot of the cargo here they carried to the dock during the colonial days was bundles of deer skins and barrels of rice they'd carry back downstream. They used several wooden wharves located along the riverbank here, and the Dorchester community here thrived as a center of trade because these docks linked everything to the bigger world here. And so, and at low tide, here it gets pretty interesting too. You still see remnants of the old town along the bank, you know, old bricks and stuff. We'll walk over towards the St. George's Parish Church, what's left of it. This community was destroyed by earthquakes in the late 1800s. Now this is where the center of the township was, between the fort and the church there. You'll see the remnants of it as I walk up on it. When I was in high school, this is before they charged a fee to come in here. All the people use this field and they play football. Because every weekend you'd see it. It's just bustling with activity now. I don't think they do that now. But now we're coming up on the St. George's Church. Into a little swamp. Anyway, we're coming up on the edge of the church here. This is what's left of the bell tower. This was the Anglican church when the Puritan pilgrims left England in 1620. Their descendants, known as the Congregationalists, founded Dorchester in the 1690s, and in Arlington, South Carolina's 1706 declaration of the Anglicanism as the colony's official church, and with the Congregationalists worshiping 2 miles away. St. George's Anglican Church was Dorchester Village founders. Religious dissenters were even taxed to support St. George's Parish. Upon completion in 1720, the sanctuary, it measured like 50 foot by 30 foot. It was enlarged in the 1730s to meet the needs of the growing parish. This bell tower, we had 4 bells, was added in 1730s. I'll show you a picture of what it used to look like during the heyday. back in the late 1800s. Earthquake is what destroyed everything here. And also, I was out here a few years ago and they were excavating. They've got a lot of years still of work to do. Oh, let's go over here and see the frogs. Yep. As soon as I walked over here, they got quiet. That's alright. Walk over here where they're doing some excavation. Yep. Yep. Still pretty active sites. Pretty cool to come out here and watch the volunteers siphoning out the remains through the dirt of things they're finding. Here's a larger site that was excavated a few years ago. It's called lot number 18 on the Colonial Plat. This excavation here, described in 1786 as a wooden house on a brick foundation. This house belonged to the Izard family, prominent landowners, planters, and political leaders of the colonial South Carolina. Artifacts discovered here, historical records, and the Georgian architecture provide a lot of insight about the wealth of this family. Meade West Vaco Corporation donated the Colonial Dorchester site to South Carolina Park Service in 1969. So that gives you kind of an idea when this thing became really protected. I'll show you one of the artifacts that was discovered here on this property that they dug up. It's the bottom of like a wine bottle or something. Now we'll come back to the fort area, give you an idea of the outside of the walls, where the gun position was over the river, what it looked like from here. There you go. And then I'll find a little trail that I used to mess around along the river here when I was younger. I think it's still here. And you can actually walk around here pretty good without worrying about snakes or anything. This time of year is still cool. Every once in a while in the winter, the snakes and alligators will come out in the sun because they recharge their batteries and come down this path. I used to see all kind of cool snakes, but it's too cold right now, like I said. Used to fish along here too, back in the day. See, the robins are out down here. They're back there. They're running away from me. There we go. It's the land of the gators. Yeah. There we go. It's a beautiful river, especially when it's warm and everything's out. Yeah. Well, it looks like I can't get too much further. Hang on. Yeah, still pretty swampy back in here now on the river. Yeah. We got a lot of dwarf palmetto that you walk through here. Yeah, I've been wanting to get down here to film this state park. It's so interesting, and I've never really put it on film or documented it much to speak of. But what's interesting is how a place so busy now has this little oasis of wonderful nature. I never get tired coming here. Swamp. Place you see in the distance there, that's called the Laurels. It's across the river off of Highway 61.